It was an entire investigation. I didn't understand how they had my information.
Thomas says a group of strange men has been following her wherever she travels.
Stalker like showing up at the airport.
It happened a couple of times, actually a number of times before I ended up posting about it. I was genuinely scared. I was flying home from Chicago, and I remember I had actually changed my flight the evening prior, and they were at the airport. And so I was thinking, okay, well, this must be a coincidence. I don't even know how I rationalized that in my head.
Yeah.
The first time I signed a couple of them. When I stopped signing them because I had a flight to catch, they got mad. And then it happened again, same airport, didn't sign anything. They were very hostile and mad. But what was really strange about that instance too was, they had bought dummy tickets. Like they bought dummy plane tickets so they could follow us into the boarding area. And then it happened again at the Miami airport. They had tickets, they were at the gate. If they're capable of figuring out when and where I'm flying on last minute notice, like what else can they figure out? Even if you don't feel like you're in danger, it's just the fact that it's the entitlement that people feel like they can put you in that situation. So when I made a post about it, I was genuinely looking for answers. I was curious to know, does anyone know what's going on? How could this be happening? Someone working at the airline tipping them off. For people to just feel like they're entitled to that type of access just because they see you on the internet or on TV. It's really scary.
Gabby, welcome to The Squeeze.
Thank you.
Woo.
Happy to be here.
I'm so excited. I feel like we've been trying to get this nailed down for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
But you're a busy girl.
Yeah, it's been a busy year. Yeah.
You're running around everywhere, no pun intended. I had to do it. How many running fast puns will I make this episode? We will find out. Okay, so we start each episode off with this jar. It's a game called Citrus Got Real. If you want to pull a little piece of paper out of there and read it to our lemon drops. That's right, our listeners.
I'm scared. Okay. What would be the title of your autobiography? Oh. Ooh, that's a tough question.
Is this foreshadowing for you?
Ooh, is it a foreshadow? Let's see. What would be the title of your autobiography? I think, off the bat, I think it would be something like Stronger.
Yeah.
I think it definitely speaks to what I do, which is fitness and sports, but also speaks to resilience and just growing through different eras of life and coming back stronger. So that would be it. I actually am I'm a big autobiography nerd. It's probably the number one book genre
I feel
that I read.
That's a big athlete thing is to read other people. I feel like athletes get motivated from other people's lives.
Actually might be it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't even read fiction anymore. I'm just obsessed with other people's life stories.
Is there one that's been your favorite that you've read?
Okay, best of all time is Open, Andre Agassi. Okay. I think it's truly the best memoir. I mean, it's a memoir because he wrote it. I think technically that whatever. Yeah. But it's incredible. Highly recommend.
Oh wow.
I'm reading Kiki Palmer's right now.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with her.
I know. I love Kiki.
She
I love me some
her
Kiki.
Favorite her funniest interview moments or compilations of top 5 funniest moments or whatever it is.
Yes.
Pop up on my TikTok all the time.
Girl.
I've watched the same clip I don't even know how many times of her mimicking her mom or just reading about the time when she was she's talking about Twitter thought she was dead or something.
Y'all killed me.
Yeah. It's so good. I feel like that's such a niche thing. I'm so happy
so
you know
funny.
what I'm talking about.
The gag is, oh my God, sorry to this man.
Yeah.
She's just so quotable.
Yeah, she's good. Okay, well, great. Well, I need to read that one because I freaking love her.
Oh yeah.
But I'm excited to chat today because I feel like I started doing some research, but I honestly just wanted to hear it from you because I feel like you have so many random, maybe not they're not random because they're not random to you, but to someone who doesn't know you, so many different facets of your life. I just kept reading the things you've done and are doing, and I was this girl is a boss bitch. I just feel you have so much going on, and it's oh, she also does this. Oh, there's also that. I feel like the resume just kept going. So I'm excited to just chat and dive into more than what most of us know you as our gold medalist.
Yay.
And so oh my gosh, I can't. I wish I wish I could have been recording the Olympics. My husband loves sports, but like when it's the Olympics, he is the most, it's like he's watching the Super Bowl. He's a big like football fan. So that is like his thing. And I just remember him like screaming for you at the TV.
Oh,
and like
oh my God, that makes me so happy.
Was so surreal. Okay. I kind of want to just like start from the beginning of your life. But I really love to know, you said Texas earlier. Is that where you're from?
No, but I've been there for 5 or 6 years now. So it generally feels like home. It's like the only place I've lived like my adult life.
Okay.
So yeah.
Where are you from
Originally from Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah. So born, spent my childhood there. And then we moved to Western Massachusetts, which is super random.
Okay. When did running track start for you?
So track really started for me when I believe I was 12. I started in middle school because my mom just kind of forced me to do it.
Yeah.
But I've always been into sports. Like I just, from day one, since I was 4 or 5, playing soccer, basketball. And honestly, I did it all.
Yeah.
Like I did softball, I tried cheerleading, I tried gymnastics. Like I even did like horseback riding for a brief minute.
Oh, wow.
So I think like anytime I wanted to try a sport, like I just did.
Yeah.
My mom was super supportive of that. When it came to track and field though, that was different.
Yeah.
I had this idea of track and field as just running,
Yeah.
which I mean, technically it is, but like to a kid that sounds really boring.
Yeah.
And in our sport, you don't really have a professional like league to look up to. You see the Olympics all the time, but like I don't actually see what the sport is. So I didn't know. So anyway, she made me do it. First couple of years were a little questionable for me. I wasn't like in love with the sport. Like soccer was still my first love. But I think like my junior year of high school is when I started to really like fall in love with it. I started setting goals for myself. I started, achieving some of them, continuing to work towards others. And I don't know, I just fell in love with the process of getting better.
Yeah.
And track is a sport where you really like, you get what you put into it.
Yeah.
And there's something like really beautiful about that. Wow. And I've just been running ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, is that normal for someone to go into track that late? Or
I think so. Track and field's funny. So there are a lot of people who like specialize in it really early.
Yeah.
And I think, the majority of the pros on the circuit that I race with now are like that.
Yeah.
But you also see a lot of burnout when people do that. So there are a ton of people for every maybe, one track athlete who started early, there are 10 that did with that person, but kind of burned out by the time they got to college because it's a very, very mental sport, which I'm sure we'll get into like later, but track is really intense. And then there are just a small couple of us who got into it later.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit non-conventional, to start a sport so late and then compete at this level.
Yeah.
But I think it's been kind of one of my advantages and almost a superpower to not have had that super early intense start.
Yeah. That's so interesting. Cause I feel like we've had a lot of gymnasts on the podcast, and I'm friends with some girls that have competed, and that it is like they were like rolling out of the womb. Like that is like what they've been doing for so long. So I always wonder, like with different, divisions, I don't know what the word would be, specialties, what that is like. Yeah.
I mean, I think like the good thing about track is you don't have like a barrier to entry like that. So if you do start late, it's no big deal. Like it's not like you missed out on a, formative years of running.
Yeah.
I did do other sports. So I had like that basic athleticism and basic like awareness of my body. I do think that's really important.
Yeah.
But as far as, learning particular skills or having access to certain networks, you don't need that.
Yeah.
Because track and field is ultimately pretty amateur. I mean, we talk about it all the time, like in our track world, about how if you want to run, like you can run. If you wanted to, for example, like sign up for Olympic trials for the LA 2028 Olympics, like you absolutely could do it and then see if you make the team. So anyone can kind of jump in if they want to. It's really a matter of like, how committed are you to training for that?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so cutthroat that like you could commit all that time to training for it and then still like miss the team by 100th of a second. So a lot of people just aren't really willing to do that.
To do it, yeah. I have so many questions that are popping into my head right now, but I'm going to save it so that I can somewhat stay on track with what I have mapped out. On track. Oh my gosh.
On track. That's number 2.
That one was not on purpose. That one was not on purpose. I'm going to literally be so annoying in the TikTok I'm making her do after this too. She's just really, she's in for
That's one of my favorite parts about track though, I think, is like unlimited puns. Like there's always a way to like weave it into a conversation. It's amazing.
It's so good. Okay, wait. So I need to talk about Harvard because I didn't know that, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's literally Elle Woods, but like super track star Elle Woods. You went to college for neurobiology. Mm-hmm. Where did that come from? Also, did you go to Harvard to run?
Well, kind of, yeah. So neurobiology came because I knew I wanted to do neuro from junior year of high school. I have 2 brothers who are neurodivergent.
Okay.
One has autism, and then the other one has ADHD. And I would watch them kind of navigate the world, and I saw just like the limited resources that were available for them and their learning styles and just how they move through society. It's particularly my autistic brother.
Yeah.
And so I think I really just wanted to go to school and do research and figure out how as society, we can just make it a better place for those learning styles. And then I ultimately just fell in love with the major.
Yeah. Wow.
I stuck with it. And at that time, my focus in life was academics. I come from a very academic background. Like my mom was a school teacher and then went back to school herself and became a professor, which is why we ended up moving to Massachusetts.
Got it.
So I had a deep appreciation for education and like what it could do for you and the opportunities that it could provide. For example, Harvard being one of them.
Yeah.
That being said, Harvard did recruit me to run track too. Now, they don't do athletic scholarships, so it's, their financial aid is just need-based, and then you go and you also do a sport, but it's kind of separate.
Yeah.
They don't really have these expectations of you, doing whatever and maintaining your scholarship. So we didn't have that, but the intention was to run track at Harvard. But again, at the time, academics was kind of my main focus.
That's so interesting.
Track was fun for me.
Yeah.
I liked it. And it was a good way to be around friends and kind of do something where I didn't have like an immense pressure, like these crazy expectations on me.
For sure. How did you balance that being a student athlete? Because I imagine that even just having that degree in itself, like it's not no offense, communication majors, but like that's, that is a very like high level degree.
Girl, there were a lot of days where I did not think I could do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, my entire freshman year, I was pretty set on quitting the track team. I was thinking, something has to give at this point.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like my academic career and those endeavors, or it's going to be my sports career. And then mind you, there's also all these extracurriculars that I wanted to do, like social clubs or like just exploring like different interests, like women in business and things like that.
Yeah.
And there's no, like you don't get like a blueprint for like how to navigate and balance these things, especially when you're at an institution like Harvard and you're expected to compete at the D1 level.
Yeah.
I think when I signed up for Harvard, I just didn't realize what I was signing up for at the end of the day. I didn't realize I was signing up for a track program that competed and trained like every other D1 program.
Yeah.
In my head, I think I had something like intramurals in my head where I was like, oh, it'll be fun. We'll run around the track, for a couple hours each day. But it was really, really intense. And then, of course, like stepping in the classroom with a bunch of really intelligent, like, top 1% in the world was really difficult in its own way. And then doing a major like neurobiology where these are like the future best surgeons, like brain surgeons in the world. It was definitely intimidating. And then, I also just had to work jobs while I was training and doing classes. So it was a lot, but ultimately what kept me grounded was, I think, understanding that I'm doing what I love. And the mindset just became, this is an opportunity. And something my college coach used to tell me and talk to us about was reframing things. And so I didn't really think about going to the track, for example, as like a sacrifice that I was making, but more so like an opportunity. And, nobody was making me study neurobiology, right? And no one was making me run because like I said, we didn't have scholarships. But it was really just a choice that I was making because I loved it and I loved what I was studying and I loved running. And so when you reframe it like that and, you wake up every day with that mindset instead, it helped a little bit.
Yeah.
That being said, there were still many days where I was like, I don't think I can do this, but yeah. And also really like making time for free time.
Yeah.
And that's where I really learned how to do that. And I carry those lessons with me now. So it's like just carving out like blocks of time like for myself or for like resetting with friends.
Yeah.
And I think that's just,
are you one of those people that like puts it into the calendar?
Honestly, I'm one of those people who like, I don't really believe in using a calendar. I don't, but I do mentally like block it in.
Yeah. You're my husband. Yeah. That's him. I like brain dump into a calendar and need it color coordinated and all those things. But I feel like being able to find that like setting aside that free time, because I will sometimes put it when I know I have a busy week or something, I'll put it in my calendar, or even just like a reminder to be like, hey, just like go sit outside in the sun for a minute, like just go have a minute to yourself. How was learning that? Like, did you get to a point where you were like breaking and you were like, I need like to remember my free time?
Yeah, I think so. Because they tell you when you get to college, right? Or when you go anywhere where you're doing a lot, they're like, oh, time management. Like time management is key. But like, you don't really know how to do that.
Yeah.
It's like easy in theory, but then you just find out that like you're running out of time and you have all these things to do.
Yeah.
And I remember my coach used to be like, okay, well schedule, 20 minutes here to get your homework done and then go to class and then come to practice. And then suddenly your homework takes like an hour and 30 minutes instead of 20 minutes. And then your schedule falls apart and then you start to freak out and it's a whole thing. So I went through that for a while, just kind of figuring it out. And I learned, I also learned that it's okay not to stay on the schedule and it's okay to like have grace with yourself and be fluid.
Yeah.
And that might be even more important than the time management skills in itself.
Yeah.
But that's true. Really it. Learning to adapt and adjust when you need to.
Yeah.
That's probably like the biggest part of balancing everything and having that kind of mental schedule.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what? I didn't get it done today. That's really okay. Like I'm going to be okay. The sun will still rise tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's fine. And just,
it's
giving and pulling when you need to.
It's such a good reminder. My husband's always like, are you going to live?
Yeah.
Like, will you survive to see tomorrow? I'm like, yes. He's like, okay, then it's fine. Like it can wait or whatever it is. I'm like, no, but it can't. He's like, but it can. It really can. This isn't life or death.
That is so real. And I think like even going into Harvard, this is so weird to say, I feel like I was a very type A person, but that experience like turned me into a type B person.
Oh, wow.
I feel like I had to totally like reshift my brain and like
that
redo all that circuitry. And now I'm like, I don't know, my publicist will probably tell you, I'm like very, very chill. Probably drives her crazy sometimes, but
oh my God.
Like I just,
I love it. It's good. I mean, it's a good reminder. One of the things that keeps a lot of us from going to the gym is not knowing where to start or if our workouts will even, work us out. And that's where Tonal comes in, the ultimate strength training system that tracks your progress to take the guesswork out of working out so you can have the confidence to keep pushing forward. I feel like one of the most discouraging things is when you're going to the gym and you're not really seeing any changes, but with Tonal, you can actually see your progress with every workout. Tonal provides the convenience of a full gym and the guidance of a personal trainer at any time at home with one sleek system. There is no more second guessing your form. Tonal gives you real-time coaching cues to dial in your form and help you lift safely and effectively. And after a quick assessment, Tonal sets the optimal weight for every move and adjusts in 1 pound increments as you get stronger, so you're always challenged. If you've been listening to this podcast, you guys have heard me talk about Tonal because I have a Tonal machine, and this piece of equipment is truly the only piece of workout equipment you will ever need. And it's crazy because it's like having a trainer available at any time you need. And not only that, the machine truly is so simple to use. I feel that it is so user-friendly, and there is really a variety of expert-led workouts for you to choose from. You can choose from strength to aero hit to yoga, mobility. Really, this machine just keeps you coming back for more.
And right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code SQUEEZE. That's Tonal.com. Use promo code SQUEEZE for $200 off your purchase. That's Tonal.com, promo code SQUEEZE for $200 off. If your dog could talk, they would be begging you for Ollie. Ollie delivers clean, fresh nutrition in 5 delicious flavors. Ollie's food contains no fillers, no preservatives, just real food. You guys know we have 2 sweet angel puppy girls, but I want to talk about Lily specifically because Lily is 9 years old. She is definitely a picky eater. For a majority of her life, I have had to force her to eat food by putting broth into her food, like real human food, to try to get her to eat. But when I tell you, she is literally jumping for excitement to eat Ollie every mealtime, I'm actually not exaggerating at all. It has been one of the craziest things. And even though she's 9, she's not up there yet. She definitely acts a little older than her age. She has just been so youthful and has so much more excitement and picks up toys more. It's been really amazing to see the switch in her. Signing up for Ollie is super simple. You take a 30-second quiz and they'll create a customized meal plan based off of your pup's weight, activity level, and other health info. Something else that I love about Ollie is they have an app that is so user-friendly, so you can track what food is going to be delivered, when your order is shipped, if you need to make changes, add treats, whatever it may be, it's all in the app. Dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Head to ollie.com/squeeze. Tell them about your dog and use code SQUEEZE to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you will get your money back. That's ollie.com/squeeze and enter code SQUEEZE to get 60% off your first box. Back to school season often brings a wave of busyness, leaving little room to plan nutritious meals. Instead of settling for fast food, try Tempo. It's the convenient solution for quick, fresh, and mindful meals. With over 20 options updated weekly, Tempo ensures you're fueled and focused, all in less time than it takes to find your kids' backpacks. Tempo serves up fast, feel-good, single-serving meals that are crafted to cook in just 3 minutes, so you can eat well without sacrificing taste or convenience. With new recipes each week that are made with real ingredients and nutrient-rich, they make it easy to keep up a healthy lifestyle. Back to school season is truly one of the busiest times, and I am not even a parent with a child that has to go back to school. I just feel like with summer ending and we're transitioning back into this work mindset, school mindset, whatever it may be, it can feel very overwhelming. And when you feel stressed and overwhelmed, who wants to take the time to go cook a healthy meal in the kitchen? And that's why I love Tempo, because they have good meals for you that are ready in just 3 minutes. So you really don't have to sacrifice taste of food or convenience. And for a limited time, Tempo is offering our listeners 60% off your first box. Go to tempomeals.com/squeeze. That's tempomeals.com/squeeze for 60% off your first box. tempomeals.com/squeeze. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Okay, so I'm just still confused. When did track actually start to become something that you were like, oh, okay, like I should pursue this, or I could go on to something bigger here?
I think so. My junior year of college, I had an incredible race. I made the NCAA, tournament for track and field, and I ended up running and winning the NCAA championship and breaking a collegiate record, which was very unexpected for me and something that is just not really heard of from Harvard, to be a sprinter and to be competing at that level.
Yeah.
And so that changed everything overnight.
Yeah.
Like immediately, I had a lot of attention on me. Immediately, I was expected to run really fast, but mainly I was exposed to this world of track and field that I was not aware of before. I think most people in track in college had an understanding of the track world.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't. I was this girl coming from Western Mass. I didn't really know anything about track and field. Yeah. I wasn't, these girls who they ran in, Florida, California, and Texas. Yeah. And so after that day, I just knew it was different. I knew I had an opportunity to run professionally, which I had to learn what that was.
Yeah.
And I knew that I could make money running. And then I realized I had a shot to try to make a Team USA team.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. It was so bizarre. I mean, to have like
so wild.
your life flip overnight like that
Yeah.
is just so wild to me. And I'm just thinking back to that time now, and I'm just like, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. I know. I can't imagine like what that would feel like, even just to, have your eyes open to that world, but also realizing, hey, this other passion that I do have is also, there is an opportunity for more than just running for my college.
Yeah. So even with that realization that I had the opportunity to run professionally, I still wasn't like quite willing to give up on like the academic journey too, I think, because that had been my entire life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was still juggling both for a while, even when I did end up running professionally, which I loved.
Yeah.
I still did, but yeah.
What, for our listeners that don't know, myself included, what does like running professionally mean? Like, what does that look like outside of the Olympics?
Yeah. So outside of the Olympics, we are running every year. And if it's not an Olympic year, we have world championship years, and those are every other year.
Okay.
And so we're typically training for that. And we're always training for a major championship. When we're not at a major championship, we are typically running in a diamond league, and the diamond league is global. So they have meets, I think it's 12 meetings each year, Monaco, London, Doha, China. There's one in the USA, and it's in Oregon.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing. Or we're competing at small meets like a USA track and field. It's our nonprofit. They'll put on some meets in the US for us. Sometimes we'll run at college meets. But essentially, we're just setting ourselves up to train and compete at a major championship so that we can win medals for Team USA.
Yeah.
And then that's how we earn our money, because we get sponsorships based off of our performance at major championships.
Got it.
So, yeah.
That makes sense. And I feel like I should have known that. Now, hearing you say all of the things, I now understand them, because I heard of the world championship thing.
That's
and
how
I was
I
like, I
felt
didn't
too.
know what that was exactly.
Girl, no, same, because I would see people run at the Olympics and they'd be like, oh, this is world championship from, 20 whatever. And I'm like, oh, I don't know why I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until so I went pro my junior year of college. I stayed at Harvard to train for my senior year.
Okay.
And then I moved to Texas. It wasn't until I moved to Texas to train and we were training for the world championships that I knew that there was a world championships that existed.
Yeah.
Like I just had never seen it, never watched it. No one in my circle had ever like spoken about it.
Yeah.
Which I do want that to change for our sport, right?
Yeah.
But I had no idea.
Wow. You're saying that anyone could go and basically like try to qualify for the Olympics. What was that time period like for you?
So that time period for me, that was wild. So yeah, when I graduated, which was in 2019, I decided to give myself a shot and try out for the Olympic team. Because like I said, I mean, anyone can do it. And I was in a really good position to do that because I was already fit and running fast. So in order to do that, I knew I needed to be like in an environment where I could get better. Because even though I was really fast and running professionally, I would not say that I was at the level that I needed to be at to make an Olympic team.
Yeah.
So I moved to Texas and I joined a group called the Beeford Bailey Track Club. And they already had Olympians in the group. My coach was a 3-time Olympian herself. Wow. And so I felt like, okay, this is going to be a good environment for me to train and just see what I can do.
Yeah.
And I could also get my master's degree at the University of Texas, which was a big priority for me as well. So everything worked out. I was like, this is great. We're moving to Austin, like going to live out my dreams. It's amazing. And then as everyone knows, like COVID happened.
Yeah.
So COVID happened pretty immediately after I moved. I moved in November, and then a couple months later, there were just no track meets to be had.
Yeah.
So this was supposed to be the 2020 Olympics, and they had, just decided that they were going to postpone the Olympics. Trials wasn't happening. All of these meets were canceled. And so at this point, I'm thinking, I don't know where this track thing is going to take me. I do remember emailing my agent at the time and telling him that I think this is it for me. We're just going to have to retire, and I'm going to continue school and just go from there.
Oh, wow.
Because at this point, we were training as if there were Olympics, but there were no Olympics to train for. And so I was spending a lot of time and energy on the track without any certainty that, I was going to do something with it.
Yeah.
So it was a really weird time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange to be, putting blood, sweat, and tears onto the track in a workout and not knowing if you're ever going to compete or ever even make a team.
Yeah, because it almost like strips like the motivation that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
Away, and it's like, why am I putting in all of this time and energy if I don't even know if there is going to be something?
Exactly.
So when did that mindset flip for you? Was it when they decided that there was going to be one? And
I think my mindset generally was, this is one of my favorite mantras. It's chop wood, carry water. And so that means basically keep doing the things that got you to where you are, even after you found that success.
Yeah.
Right. So I just was like, I'm going to put my head down and keep training really hard as if there's an Olympics. I'm going to keep training the way that I have been training for the last few years to get me to this point where I can run professionally. And I just did it. I think that's where discipline kind of ties in. And also at the same time, I loved being on the track. Right.
Yeah.
I keep coming back to that because that's kind of, my grounding experience is like, I love running. I love pushing myself, and I love being there like with my teammates. So thankfully in 2021, everything was back to normal, right? They, at least in track and field, they put the competitions back on, and there was an Olympic trials and eventually an Olympics.
Yeah. I read in here that before the Tokyo Olympics, you were undergoing some scans for a hamstring injury.
Oh, yeah, girl.
And then the doctors ended up finding a tumor on your liver.
Mm-hmm. Girl, that was a really stressful time period. So I did have a hamstring, like a slight hamstring injury strain. And I got a routine like MRI for that. And in the MRI, they found a mass on my liver that honestly for me, like I read so many like health research papers. I remember thinking it's probably fine. I think most people have masses in their bodies that they will never be aware of because they don't get MRIs as frequently as athletes do. But then I remember my doctor telling me like, no, this looks bad. You should go get like further checked on. And I was like, oh my God, this was maybe 3 weeks before our Olympic trials. And so I was
that close?
I was stressed. Yeah, I was really stressed out. And I remember telling myself, like, if I make it out of this okay, then I'm putting it all on the line because I'm so grateful to be healthy and alive and I'm living out my dream. I just remember like making that promise to myself and to God. And thankfully everything did end up being fine.
Yeah.
It's something that actually, it happens very frequently for women who are on birth control. And I was on birth control for a very long time. And
so I probably have one on my liver
you
right now.
might have one. I wouldn't recommend it going in imaging. I would not recommend it. But yeah, so it's so grateful. But yeah, it definitely shifted my mindset a bit, right? It made me just really, truly so grateful to be able to run and do what I love.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine like having like finding it and you're like, oh, like I'll be okay. And then they're like, no, actually you need to take the test. And then you're starting to stress and you're like, probably like how long did it take for you to get after the actual testing for like the biopsy and stuff?
That's another thing. The whole thing was such a long process and it was frustrating. And as someone in like the healthcare space, I was like, it should not be this hard to, especially someone like me where I have all of the resources that I could ever imagine, just, getting my master's in public health and having that network and also running for USA Track and Field and having that network of doctors. And I think the whole thing, I mean, it probably took 6 weeks, which is very long from like my initial MRI to having the conversation with doctors and getting follow-up imaging and then biopsies and like all of that just took 6 weeks to get like a final answer.
I didn't think you were going to say 6 weeks. That's a lot longer than I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It all finished about maybe 2 weeks before I left for Oregon for trials.
Okay.
But it had started way before that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is insane. But
and that's why, at first it was like, okay, it's fine. But then you have so much time to overthink it and be like, okay, maybe it's not fine. And then it's taking so long and you're like, okay, well, why is no one talking to me? Why is no one calling me? Is something wrong? Like, yeah.
The spiraling that comes with that, I actually can't imagine. Yes. Yeah, I'm sure that really lit a fire under you once you were like cleared and you were like, I'm just gonna give this my all.
Exactly.
I'm curious, after you've talked a little bit about feeling like a crash after the Tokyo Olympics. When you say crash, was that like a physical one or a mental one?
Definitely mental.
Okay.
Yeah, it was mental, emotional for sure.
Yeah.
I think that it's fairly common amongst Olympic athletes, but Tokyo was my first Olympics. It was so much fun, like just getting to go there. And I didn't have these crazy expectations for myself. I think I was just really happy to be there, you know, with it being my first one and not even expecting to make the team.
Yeah.
But also when I made the team, when I said my life changed overnight, like when I went professional in track, I mean, that was nothing compared to after I made like the Tokyo Olympic team. My life really, really changed. And then being there was so much fun. And then I did get my first Olympic medal, which was a bronze in the 200 and then a silver in the 4x1 relay. And I was just, I don't know, I felt like on top of the world. I was just so happy and ecstatic. And I don't think I was prepared for just what came after that. In Tokyo, we also, because it was COVID still, there was not a lot of media in the village or like at the competition. So I was kind of in this happy little bubble. I was like competing at the Olympics. It was great. Not too much stress. And it, immediately when I got back to the States after the Olympics, it was instant. I just felt so drained. It was, I think, a mix of being on such a high for weeks of like making the team, going to Tokyo and being there and experiencing that, to coming down. And so you're coming down from that huge peak emotionally. And then suddenly everybody wants like a piece of you. Everybody wants your time. Yeah. And I was just not familiar with that world. Yeah. I was essentially this nobody runner from Harvard. And suddenly I was, you know, one of the best American sprinters coming back to the States. And so I just wasn't prepared for that. I didn't have an adequate team ready. There is no, like I said, there's like no blueprint or protocol of how we're supposed to handle that. Yeah. And so, I just remember being so drained emotionally and mentally. Yeah. And like every morning I just would not want to like wake up in the morning. I would like be terrified to even pick up my phone because I didn't know like what was on it. I just didn't know like if people were going to be like asking me for favors or if like people wanted me to, you know, do something like media wise or, you know, just friends and family who obviously mean well, but like everyone just wants to talk about the Olympics. And I didn't feel like Gabby anymore. I just, you know, I felt like literally Gabby Thomas, like the sprinter. Yeah. And so it was just a lot to get used to.
Yeah. I don't think people like realize, even though everything you said is positive, like it wasn't like there was anything negative, it's still that it's so overwhelming and our bodies like aren't meant to digest all of that, especially like the influx. That's why we see so many, you know, actors or musicians, like when they're on stage, they're like the highest high and then they crash. And it's like, that's why there are so many people in the industry that struggle with their mental health, is because our bodies are just constantly doing this and our brains can't like comprehend what that is or like how to deal with it. And so not being, you know, there is no, even if you are well equipped and have a team and have all of the stuff in place, it's still, you still feel the crash.
That's so real. Yeah.
It's inevitable to feel, no matter like sport or singing or whatever it is. Like it's all like fully there.
And it's like hard to talk about, right? Because like you said, it was all like positives, right? It's like, okay, no, this is a great blessing and I would not take it back. Yeah. But then like,
you're like, then I sound ungrateful. Right. Or like it makes you feel like you're not supposed to like be struggling mentally. And then you feel guilty for when you are.
Exactly. And then I feel guilty for not like enjoying the ride. I was like, I just came back from the Olympics. Like I should be so happy and like celebrating. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I just don't want to. Yeah. You know?
What got you out of that little rut? I think. Did it take time?
It did take time. I think I started to feel a little better and just kind of, like I said, I did the same thing with my mantra, just chop wood, carry water. I just put one foot in front of the other. Yeah. And I just did the things that I was expected to do. I went to like the celebration events and I did all the media interviews. I did all the sponsorship stuff. And I think it was just a lot for me to carry. It was just a really big load. Yeah. And the next season definitely, I mean, it showed. I was really stressed out all the time. I think I just had too much going on, and then I ended up getting injured and not being able to compete that season. Yeah. And I just don't think that was a coincidence. I think it very much had to do with not taking care of my mental health first.
Yeah. Did you feel like pressure to, because you had just come back from the Olympics and you won, like to perform?
I did. I felt a lot of pressure to perform. Yeah. I mean, I felt pressure to do like everything during that time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I didn't know that you could say no to stuff, and I didn't know that I could take time to rest. Like even on the track, I just feel like you're expected to go. And there's like a plan A for training, and there's a plan for competing.
Yeah.
And there are certain times that you're supposed to hit. And I didn't realize that it's okay to take a step back and take an off day if I need to, like rest and recover, take an off week if I need to, right? It's not the end of the world. But there was definitely a lot of pressure. And in a sport like track and field where like you have to be perfect, because the difference between running, I think people don't realize this, like in my event, you know, maybe a really good time would be 22.1, like 22.1 seconds.
Yeah.
But if you run 22.3 seconds, like the whole world will just collapse. Like everyone's like, what happened? And it's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't dorsiflex my heel like the same way. Like, I don't know. But so it's
you like took one too many breaths when you were running. Like that's how
exactly.
Like,
or like maybe your reaction time was a little off or something. Like, so you just have to be perfect. And when you're not perfect, it feels like it's the end of the world sometimes, even though I know it's not. Yeah. But yeah, so the stress was definitely there.
Do you feel like your love for the sport wavered at all after your first Olympics?
I mean, I wouldn't say it wavered. I think I needed a healthy break. Yeah. To be honest. I still loved track and field. And I think that's evident because when I got hurt, I was heartbroken, and it was really devastating, and I wanted to be competing. And that's how I knew that I was still very invested and really loved it. But I think I understood that I needed some time. Yeah. And I needed to like reframe, you know, take a second back and just, you know, this is where I am in life now. I just need to have a healthy balance.
Yeah, for sure. How did you, going into the 2024 Olympics, how did you mentally kind of prepare for that? And was there something that you were like, I want to go into this with this frame of mindset? Yeah. Okay. I do feel like I went into, I mean, going into your second Olympics, I just felt so much more in control. I felt like a veteran. I had been competing for a couple of years now. Yeah. Like I said, my first Olympics, I feel like I was thrown into the sport so quickly and just so naive and just like a girl who didn't know the world of track and field. Yeah. And for the Paris 2024 Olympics, like I felt comfortable. I'd also grown into myself, like not only as an athlete, but like as a businesswoman. And essentially I see what I do on the track as like a business, and I'm running my own business. And so I had a great team around me, which I feel like it's really important. Like having people who I feel like I can trust, who are understanding of me, and who just help me navigate things, whether, you know, that's my agent, publicist, coach, physical therapist, like all of these people like matter so much. For sure. So definitely had that. And I think I was just like really, really motivated too. When I look back on going into the Paris Olympics in that time period, I mean, it was like tunnel vision. It really was. I wasn't even like worried as much per se about making mistakes or not being good enough. I was just like so dialed in and motivated. I was like, I need to do everything right. Like I need to be perfect. I'm going to train really hard. I'm going to also rest when I need to. Like I feel like I had everything under control. Yeah. Which I don't know, I feel like I do really well when I feel like I have control of like situations. Yeah. And so going into it, I definitely felt like I had more control. Yeah. Which is funny if you're a type B person.
Did you know that electrolyte deficiency or imbalance can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, brain fog, or even weakness? That's where Element comes in. Element helps anyone stay hydrated. Each pack delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes free of sugar, artificial colors, or other dodgy ingredients. Element is formulated for anyone on a mission to restore health through hydration and is perfectly suited for athletes, people who are fasting, those who are on keto, low carb, whole food, or even paleo diets. I feel like when we hear the word electrolytes or electrolyte drink, we don't think we need it. When I hear electrolytes, I think of, Navy SEALs or Olympic athletes, professional athletes. And as those people do need electrolytes, we also need it for our everyday health. Whether you're a mom, a heavy sweater, you like to sit in the sauna, you want a no sugar margarita, or maybe a fun mocktail. There is truly so many ways to incorporate Element into your daily routine, and it's also needed. Something that I love about Element is you can try it totally risk-free, because if you don't like it, they'll send you a refund on your order, no questions asked. And right now, Element is offering a free 8-count sample pack for their most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase. This is a great way to find your favorite Element flavor or share with your friends. Get yours at drinkelement.com/squeeze. This deal is only available through my link, so you must go to drinklmnt.com/squeeze. I chose Function because it's the only health platform that gives you access to the kind of data most people never see, and the insights to actually take action. Inside Function, you can test over 160 biomarkers, from heart and hormones to toxins, inflammation, and stress. You can also access multi-region MRI and CT scans, all tracked in one secure place over time. I actually have already done my lab visits, and I am a member of Function Health. Obviously, having a nursing background, I am a firm believer that we should know what's going on inside of our bodies, what our labs actually look like. And with Function Health, they make it easier than ever. For just $4.99 a year, that's $1.37 per day for cutting-edge health insights. Lab visits are fast and convenient at over 2,000 locations across the U.S. If you were to do something like this on your own, it could cost over $10,000, which is why Function is truly paving the way for how we handle our personal health. Insights come from top doctors based on your unique results. And something that I love is that it's all tracked over time in one secure place, so you can see how your health is evolving, but also it is just so user friendly. It shows you what labs are normal, what's maybe below range, what's too high out of range. They really make it simple, and you don't have to be a nurse or medical professional to read your results. You can learn more and join it using my link. The first 1,000 get a $100 credit toward their membership. Visit www.functionhealth.com/thesqueeze or use gift code thesqueeze100 at sign up to own your health.
That's so true.
What was that winning moment like for you?
The winning moment
I'm sure you've been asked this question 1,000 times.
It was, okay. Two things. It was incredible. It was like, I mean, the best moment in my life. Like, I just, you can't even, it was unbelievable. Yeah. Like, I almost felt like I was living in a dream. And then on the other hand, it felt like a huge relief. Like, I could just breathe again. And that was such a good feeling too.
Yeah.
Because I know how long and hard I had worked for that.
Yeah.
And I understood how disappointed I would be if I didn't get the gold medal, which, I mean, I hate like thinking about it like that, but it's just the reality. So I was just like so relieved.
Yeah.
I was like, all of this hard work, like I did it. And
wow,
that was it. Like I did it.
Oh
so gosh. it was great. I do remember like right before the line, like right before the gun went off, I was like in the blocks. And I remember like having this moment where I was like, if I win, like I'm going to be so stressed out. I'm like, my time's not going to be my time anymore. I was like thinking back to the Tokyo Olympics where I was like, oh my God, is it going to be okay? Am I going to be okay? And I remember like having to just like brush that thought away so quickly because the gun was about to go off and just think like, oh, you just have to go and worry about that later.
Yeah.
And so, no, I did. And then, just relief.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier, and I wanted to wait until we were actually talking about track to bring it up so I didn't get sidebar, but you mentioned like how mental of a sport track is. And like, I never thought about it that way until you just said it. And then I feel like I was having like a little like epiphany moment of like, I think the reason why I don't like running is because I'm like literally like alone in my thoughts and like, it's not like you're learning new tricks.
Yeah, like
even
skills and
even
stuff.
though you are running faster, and I'm sure
Yeah.
like, you know, there is little nuances of what you said,
Yeah.
your dorsiflexion of things
Yeah.
that I have no freaking clue of. But it's so minute is what I'm trying to say, is you're running and nothing is changing besides like the minuscule things that you know. When, you know, you're a gymnast or whatever it is, you're learning all of these new things, and you're actually like seeing the progress of a full whatever it is. And I can't imagine how, you know, trying to make your toe flex while you're like full on sprint, like how mental that actually is.
I mean, it is just so incredibly mental for so many reasons.
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, the main one being the difference between winning and getting last, right? Could be the difference of like a thousandth of a second.
Yeah.
You know, in like the 100-meter race, in the 200, a tenth of a second.
Yeah.
So much goes into that. And maybe you are physically perfect on that day, but mentally you're just not, you're not enough on that day. Or maybe like you're in your luteal phase and then you have to work like 1,000 times harder that one day just to not run a tenth of a second slower. So when I go into, I mean, you have to play so many like mental tricks on yourself, and you have to get yourself into that zone where you have that like extra 1% that you need to win the race. And it also goes with training. Like training can be, I mean, like you said, you don't like running.
No.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But
I would prefer to sprint over a like long distance
that's
run,
what I
though.
tell people. I'm like,
I did prefer,
like,
I
you like
danced
sprinting.
in my whole life, but when we would do like Hell Week and have to run,
Yeah.
I was always the fastest sprinter, but I was the last one in the mile. So
See,
it was,
sprinting's fun.
You win some, you lose some.
Sprinting is fun. I don't like long distance running either. My mile time is not not good. But yeah, so even the training of it, like the meet is just such a small part of what we do, but we're training every day for hours, and so you have to mentally be prepared to train at that level too.
Yeah.
Like your training can't, be subpar and then you expect to compete well.
Yeah.
So it's also getting yourself ready and in that mode mentally.
Yeah.
And also in our sport, it just naturally comes with so many setbacks.
Yeah.
We are constantly like pushing ourselves to our limits, like physically.
Yeah.
And so naturally things are going to happen. Like you're going to feel pain, you're going to have a bad day. And how can you bounce back from that? And that's really, really hard to do in an individual sport.
Yeah.
Where you don't have like teammates to help pull you up or to cover for you if you have a bad play. It's just you out there. And so if you can just kind of figure out how to be resilient in a way that gets you medals, I mean, that's really the name of the game.
Yeah.
There's so much talent out there, and everyone at this level is so talented. So it becomes, who can figure out the mental game.
Yeah. Do you have like pre-race like rituals or like routines that you do to get you in the mindset?
I think like the only pre-race ritual that I have is meditation.
Okay.
I started that in college, and my college coach was a big advocate for it, which I'm so grateful for. It's so grounding, and it has actual neurological effects that I do believe like help. So before I do it in training too, if I have a hard training day, I'll just like incorporate it into my warm up where I do 2 minutes of meditation, focusing on breath work and nothing else. And I do it in competition too.
Yeah.
And it really calms your nervous system down, but it also gets me in a place where I can be laser focused.
Yeah.
And doing it over time, obviously you see more benefits. But other than that, I don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
I think that's just how I cope and like how I deal with really high pressure meets or competitions.
Yeah.
I'm just like, nope, it's just another regular day. Like if something different happens, that's really fine. If something like unexpected happens, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna go race.
Yeah. Trying to give yourself like grace with like during that.
No, exactly.
It's so, I'm not going to bore our listeners with all of my thousands of questions because I'm literally like, the thing that gets me with track is what you said is it's literally like 1,000th of a second.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's sometimes I'm watching, I'm like, oh, why did they run so slow? And it's literally a second.
Yeah,
And I'm like sitting on my couch, like eating a bag of chips. I'm like, who am I try to freaking say this thing, but it's
you
so
like
crazy.
don't realize. But it's also like you don't realize how good everyone is.
And you're all so fast.
Yeah.
So then when someone is, a half a second behind, it looks like they're so
looks
much
like-
slower,
I know,
but they're
I
literally
know.
not. Oh, it's so I'm horrible. It's so bad. I'd love to know like any advice you have for young athletes that, may be experiencing burnout or just kind of feel stuck mentally with where they're at.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a couple things. One is really important. I think comparison is a thief of joy. Everyone has heard that, but it's so true.
Yeah.
You cannot compare your journey to anyone else's, and genuinely everything happens for a reason, and you can always overcome something, and it may have been a blessing in disguise. I think a big part of why I had so much success early in my track career was because I wasn't comparing to anyone.
Yeah.
And I just was doing my own thing and focusing on what I wanted to focus on, and it was just my journey. And I go back to that now, even when I think about, things I'm struggling with now or a setback. I'm like, you know what? It's your journey. Do your thing. Don't compare to like what anyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And it's all good. And then another one would be to really prioritize rest and recovery, physically and mentally and emotionally. It's non-negotiable. It's actually a part of my training. And rest could be so many different things. It could be getting dinner with your friends, or it could be, contrast, cold plunge, sauna, whatever you want it to be, but whatever makes you feel, just reset and makes your cup full.
recharged.
Yeah, recharged.
For sure. I love that. And I feel like that's honestly like applicable for anyone experiencing any form of burnout in life, whatever career you may have.
Right.
It's so important to remember that.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many synergies with like sports and track specifically and just life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. I have really been wanting to talk to you about something that I think the whole reason we started DMing was because you shared about an incident recurring potentially thing that was happening with you at just the airport. I want you to, I've been wanting to hear about this because I remember you posted something on your story or your close friends and was like, has anyone ever dealt with, people like stalker like showing up at the airport? And when you had posted it, I feel like not long before that, something similar happened to my husband and I. We were traveling, and it was the first time it had ever happened to me. Like, obviously it wasn't for me, it was for him, but with him, he's obviously has experienced this back in the day a lot. But we were deplaning, and someone had bought, plane tickets to be inside of the airport, and we're at the terminal. And, I'm with him, I'm with a male, and they're not asking for my autograph, they're asking for his. But I was still so freaked out and I was so on edge. I think I cried in the car, and he was like, it's okay. Like, cause it's something that's happened to him before. And he's like, they're not stalking me in this scenario.
Yeah.
He's like, they're not following me. They're just wanting my autograph, but they're going about it in a way that is unsafe and is very uncomfortable. And so since then, I'd do the VIP service every time we fly into that airport now, because I'm paranoid it's gonna happen. And even though he did make me feel better after, because I was like, what if they're following the car? And I just spiral on all these things. And when you shared about that, I was like, I can't imagine going through that by myself and as a female. Yeah. So I'd love to hear
isn't that it's so sad that anyone just even has to feel that way, or even if you don't feel like you're in danger, it's just the fact that it's the entitlement that people feel like they can put you in that situation, and then for whatever reason you have to rationalize that it's okay or that you're safe. I just don't even appreciate that. Yeah. But furthermore, making anyone feel just uncomfortable, unsafe, anxious, it's so wrong. But ultimately, it happened a couple of times, actually a number of times before I ended up posting about it. I can't even remember the first time. I think I was flying home from Chicago from family holiday. Yeah. And I remember I had actually changed my flight the evening prior, and they were at the airport. And so I was thinking, okay, well, this must be a coincidence, somehow, some way. I don't even know how I rationalized that in my head. Yeah. But I was like, it must be a coincidence because I had just changed my flight. Yeah. Fine. At first, the first time I signed a couple of them. And when I stopped signing them because I had a flight to catch, they got mad. Okay, eye roll, like moving on.
Yeah.
And then it happened again, same airport, didn't sign anything. They were very hostile and mad, whatever. But what was really strange about that instance too was, they had bought dummy tickets. Like they bought dummy plane tickets so they could follow us into the boarding area.
Yeah.
And they were waiting for me at my gate. And then it happened again at the Miami airport where they were just in the boarding area, past security. They had tickets. They were at the gate. And at this point, I felt so much confusion, and I was genuinely scared because I didn't understand how they had my information.
Yeah.
I didn't understand, like what was going on. Like, I did not feel like my life was in immediate danger. Obviously I felt like physically okay, but if they're capable of figuring out when and where I'm flying on last minute notice and having this access to me, like what else can they figure out? And like, how are they doing this? And I just got to a point where I was walking to airports and I felt anxious, and I just felt anxiety when I was traveling, and I just did not feel like I deserved that.
Yeah.
So when I made a post about it, I was genuinely looking for answers. I was curious to know, like, does anyone know what's going on? How could this be happening? Like, is someone working at the airline tipping them off?
Yeah.
Because I don't post anything about like when I'm traveling until I get there. So I wasn't sure. And I mean, it happened to other people too. Like a few other female public figures had mentioned it and reached out to me about it too. And I thought, okay, well, it's good to know that I'm not like alone.
Yeah.
Like they're not targeting me for like, some type of weird harassment. But I do feel like that's a huge issue. I mean, for people to you just feel like they're entitled to that type of access just because they see you like on the internet or on TV. It's really scary.
Yeah.
And you never know what people are capable of at the end of the day. Like I don't know them.
Yeah.
So I'd love to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But if you're the type of person to, cross those boundaries and buy a dummy flight ticket and harass me when I would feel uncomfortable, I don't know what else you're capable of doing. Yeah. So it was really frustrating, the entire thing.
Yeah.
So we've since taken measures to not have to deal with that. And I do the VIP. And honestly, since posting about it and speaking out, they have left me alone.
Yeah.
And I do think they needed to be scared.
Yeah.
Like, it was an entire investigation, and I think they got spooked.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just really glad that I did speak out about it, and it was received so well, like amongst the online community, and that other people like were supportive of that because I have not seen them. Yeah. But the next time if I see them again,
I know. I feel like people, I feel like I have this conversation a lot when people are, feel like they need to take the photo, feel like they need to sign the autograph. And I feel like it's one thing when it's a genuine fan that, someone comes up to me, hey, I love the podcast. Can we take a photo? Of course, totally. If I'm, in the right mindset. But if someone is coming up to me with a clear, flimsy piece of plastic and a blue marker, I know you, blue marker, so they can freaking copy it and put it on the things, then no. Like, that's like, you're wanting to make money off of like harassing me.
Exactly. And I think now that you mentioned that, I'm like, I don't even know why I gave them the benefit of the doubt to begin with, because they had like pictures of my face all printed out. Yeah. So to your point, it's not like an innocent fan who's excited to see you. It's like someone targeting you. Yeah. So
it's just like an interesting, and then like a video will go online and be like, they're so rude, they didn't sign this. It's like, well, like I if you're being harassed somewhere, I wouldn't like want to sign it either. Like, I feel like the internet and people who aren't in positions like yours and my husband need to give people that are in those positions a lot more grace, because like your flight could have been canceled and you could have, you could be having a horrible day and someone comes up to you and you're like, no, actually, like I'm like dealing with something right now. That needs to be okay. Like, we're not going up to random strangers asking them for favors for things. And I feel like you like sharing this is a good reminder. Like,
girl, yes. I mean, I got a whole thing. Like, I was at a track meet like a couple of months ago where I had spent like 30 minutes signing autographs and, taking selfies with a lot of the fans who show up because we love the fans and like they make what I do possible. But then I had to go cool down.
Yeah.
And one person, I guess, didn't get a picture and just went on social media and was like, oh, she's the worst. She doesn't like make time for fans. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so unfair.
Yeah. It's a very like interesting space that I feel like where now that more public figures are starting to like share about, but then it also like adds this pressure. Like my husband never says no, like even like that's just always how he's been. But granted, he has been dealing with it for a very long time. So I think he's
That's so sweet though.
Trained his mind in a certain way. He knows when he's leaving the house that could happen. So he's prepared.
Yeah.
When like the night we got engaged, he proposed and then we went to dinner and we had 4 people come up to our table after right after we got engaged, like not knowing that had happened. And we're there just having dinner. Like I just got engaged. I'm so happy. And people keep coming up and I'm like, honey, like you can say no, it's okay. And he was like, do you want me to say no? And then I'm like, well no, the last girl, she was really cute. And like, she was a sweet little girl who wasn't like, so it's just like such an interesting thing that you don't like realize until you're in it. And here I am just getting a ring on my finger and going to dinner and having all these people come up. It's like such an interesting. It is. It's
interesting because, like you said, like you see where they're coming from. It's like, oh, you love this person and like you want that moment, and then it's like not every day that you get to see someone that you look up to and walk by them in person. But then on the other hand, it's like, oh yeah, we're humans, and sometimes like you just got engaged, or sometimes you had a really really rough day, and like you're not in a good mental space to give someone your best, and. Yeah, it's definitely tough. It's a tricky thing to navigate, but I think you said it best. Like just everyone giving each other grace is so important.
Do you deal with like online backlash or pressures at all?
Girl.
You're like, we need a part 2.
Yeah, I know. We need a whole part 2 about, online, as you know, it's just, especially now, I feel like it's just taken a whole new reality, like especially with TikTok now too.
Yeah.
I think TikTok, I am genuinely scared for like the future of social media and people's interactions. I think the way people interact and how online discourse is on TikTok is so frightening to me.
Yeah.
Like what happened to compassion? Like what happened to nuance? Like what happened to just not being mean? It's wild. So yes, I do deal with online backlash. Obviously, I think starting from Tokyo Olympics was my first experience with it.
Yeah.
It was like kind of the first Olympics where, people had so much access to athletes because social media had taken off so much since the previous Olympics. And so we were kind of getting used to that. And I've developed thick skin about it. Of course, you see it all the time. And in a sport like mine, where we're very individual, like attacks on our performance feel really personal because it's like,
there's no one else.
Yeah, there's no one else. I'm like, this is me. Yeah. I'm like, what? Like that really hurt my feelings a little bit because, we put so much into it, right? We trained so hard and put like literal physical and emotional and mental energy into it. And so when you're doing your best and someone's just like, oh, you suck. You're like, well,
you could have ran faster.
That hurts. And I'm also like what I was saying to you before, anyone can do it. So I'm kind of like, we're not in a sport where you're drafted or like selected subjectively. I'm like, okay, well, if that wasn't fast enough, like you get off the couch and you do it. You train and then come and do it and race me. We'll see what happens. But no, I just see it as part of it now. And I think I have a healthy relationship with the internet.
I was going to ask like, what are like your boundaries with it now?
Yeah, I think it's so hard too because I like social media, right? Like I love being on the internet. I love Twitter. I love Twitter jokes. I love memes. I love TikToks. And so it's like you don't want to take that away.
Yeah.
And then I like running. Like I like running at the top level. So I don't want to stop doing that because of how much attention it gets. So it's like, all right, well, the only choice now is just to deal with reality. And that is that some people are going to be online and they're going to be mean and nasty. And it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And one thing that I think is really important to remember, that I tell like a lot of like my younger teammates to remember too, is that like nobody who is on your level or doing better will ever like give you negative criticism like that on the internet, right? Like if anyone is happy with themselves and their life and they're doing something good and positive, like they're not going to go on the internet and start like bashing people for their efforts.
Yeah.
Like you don't see someone working hard and being like, oh,
Yeah.
you suck.
No
It's
happy
always-
person is like leaving
Right.
comments like that.
Right. Like you just wouldn't do it. And I thought about that and I'm like, you know what? That's so true. The only people who do that are people who kind of like, they have you on a pedestal and they just feel like they can do that.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important to remember.
Yeah. I love that. I want to talk a little bit about you're a co-founder for a new women's track league, I hear. Tell me about it.
So Athlos is really exciting. So like I said before, like track and field is just an interesting sport where we rely on these major championships, but a lot of people don't know how and when to watch us.
Yeah.
So having a new league where people are competing and fans know when and where we're competing and it will be broadcasted is such a great opportunity.
Oh, wow.
I also think we are in such a great era for like women's sports. Like it's getting a lot of attention right now. And so we are jumping on that. Track and field is a great product. Like every 4 years, people love it at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And so why can't they love it every year?
Yeah.
So Athlos will be
So
that. Yeah, right? Like it's a great opportunity and the vision's there. It's all there, but we just need to make it happen.
Yeah.
So Athlos will be that. I am co-founding it with Sha'Carri Richardson and Tara Davis, who are other amazing athletes in track and field. And so it's just, we're so excited. It's going to be a team-based format. So it's going to be kind of this new exciting way to watch track and field and follow it.
Yeah.
We have our inaugural, we had our inaugural event last October.
Okay.
We're doing one more meet this October in New York City on October 10th. And then next season in 2026, like the league will start.
Oh, cool.
So it'll be really great to follow.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can get tickets for Athlos this year online now.
Okay.
And then just follow along for next season.
Sweet.
But I'm really excited
We'll
about
leave
it.
a link down below for
Perfect.
our lemon drops to go check it out.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Coming into the sport was really weird for me because I was like you. I didn't understand what track was.
Yeah.
I didn't understand where people were running, when, how. And I want to leave the sport like better than I found it. So
Yeah.
I want young girls when they're going into track and field to have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like young boys always like, they're always like, oh, I want to be in the NBA or like I want to play in the NFL. And they have these dreams because it's there and available for them.
Yeah.
And like track just doesn't have that.
Yeah.
And track is so special because there is such low barrier to entry. So anyone can just train and work hard and do it.
Yeah.
But then what? And I want there to be something there.
Yeah.
So that's why it's really special.
That's so special.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's so exciting. Okay, last question before we do our little end segment. You have truly just accomplished so much in your career, both careers. We honestly didn't even dive into that because I got so sidetracked talking about all
Number
of my
3.
track questions.
Sidetracked.
You had one earlier, and you were saying something like deep, and I was like, I'm not going to cut her off. I was like, don't say it. I can't remember what it was. I'm sure.
Hilarious.
I'm sure people know what it was. I can't remember. But you really have. There's just so many facets of your life. And out of all of those and everything you've accomplished, I really want to know, like, what are you most proud of yourself for?
Ooh, that is a really good question. Oh my gosh. I mean, I would say definitely how I carry myself throughout this journey and remaining humble and making sure that I am like being a good person on top of being a good athlete.
Yeah.
Is so important to me. And I'm actually really proud of how I've handled kind of everything and how I treat people along the way. And yeah, I mean, I think being a positive role model for the younger generation and for people who do look at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of that because as I say that, I'm reminded of like people like Allison Felix and Sonia Richards-Ross, who I looked at when I was younger, and I didn't follow the sport very closely, but I did see how they held themselves and how they competed. And inevitably, I do feel like I modeled myself off of that, and I felt so inspired. And if I can even be like that, even a little bit for someone else, I mean, that is something really to be proud of.
Yeah.
So definitely that.
I love that answer. And it's true too. I see it. I see it and believe it. Well, thanks for coming and chatting with me.
Of course.
I love that we finally get to like sit and chat. And I think what you said, like you truly like embody such an amazing role model too. I feel not only kids, but also like someone like me and people, you know, of older generations, just what you've accomplished and all of the different facets of what you've accomplished. And the fact that at the end of the day, you're still like so kind and care about people is really special. So thanks for hanging.
This was so fun. Thanks
So
for having
fun.
me.